Hi dear students, welcome back to one more session of microbiology, and today we are going to talk about the trail of microbiology scientists. We know that today the current microbiological evidences today which we have is mainly because of the efforts of various other scientists who left back a trail, and we are going to discuss some of these scientists who played an important role in the field of microbiology, especially the early scientists. First and foremost is Anton von Leeuwenhoek, who is mainly considered to be as the father of microbiology. And he was the first to see the bacteria and explain it accurately in 1676. He was basically a lens maker, and he made simple lens microscopes composed of two convex lenses held together between two silver plates. And with this, he viewed various bacteria. Of course, various other cells, uh, which are as well as organisms which have been found in various water samples and all that. And the microscopes which was been made by Leeuwenhoek mainly consisted of a single high quality lens of very short focal length at that particular time. We can see that such simple microscopes were preferable to the compound microscopes. Now, since we have already spoken about Leeuwenhoek in the previous sessions, let me move on to the next scientist. Next, we have Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur is very known because he added, in fact, almost 20 years to the lifespan of every man, woman, and child. Every person which we consider today has an extended lifespan of 20 years because of the efforts of Louis Pasteur. And this improved quality which he has given to every one of us is to be remembered. And in addition to this, he has put forward many various other contributions, and that's what I'm discussing right now. Now, as I told you, the extended quality is mainly because we were able to find out remedies for various diseases which were being caused to us. And the association of diseases with organisms, or specifically microscopic organisms, was being put forward by Louis Pasteur, and this was the concept of germ theory. Till then, diseases were often associated with witchcraft or anything like that. But with this evidences given by Louis Pasteur, the association of microorganisms with various diseases was being established. And as we all know, Louis Pasteur disapproved the theory of spontaneous generation, and his experiments, especially the swan neck flask experiments, helped us to disprove the spontaneous theory of generation. Louis Pasteur is not only a scientist who was working on microbes and all that, he was also a chemist, and the concept of molecular asymmetry or chirality was being first put forward by Pasteur. And he noticed that if you take a mixture of tartarate and paratartarate, you can see that in that paratartarate is optically inactive. Later on, the expertise of Pasteur was also being used, and he developed a process called the pasteurization, which uses a temperature of about 50 to 60 degrees centigrade to reduce the microbial loads of foods. And the term pasteurization is being put forward in this credit of this. And we are quite familiar with the pasteurization because we have already now pasteurized milk and all that. We'll be going to the details in the coming sessions. And Pasteur, he also contributed in the role of microbes in the fermentation of sugars to form alcohol. That is, he found out that if you put microbes and mix them with sugars, the microbes could ferment the sugars and form alcohol. Then the process of butyric acid fermentation as well as the beer production, that was also being developed by Louis Pasteur. So this is a nutshell of some of the contributions of Louis Pasteur. Later on, he put forward another thing called the Pasteur effect. Uh, this was an unexpected discovery that the fermentation process could be arrested by passing air, that is oxygen, through the fermenting fluid, which is mainly, this is a concept now known as the Pasteur effect. That is, if you are doing a fermentation process and if you just pass air through it, the fermentation would be stopped. So this is referred to as a Pasteur effect. He had put forward that, in fact. And later on, you can see that Pasteur extended his efforts in vaccine development, like various diseases such as chicken cholera, anthrax, as well as rabies were being fought or were being cured by the development of vaccines against these particular diseases. Attenuated anthrax vaccine was developed by treating cultures with potassium dichromate and inactivating the bacteria at 42 to 43 degrees centigrade. And rabies vaccine was developed by inoculating the virus into rabbit, and after it died, their brain and spinal cord was dried and used as a particular vaccine. So that's about Pasteur, and you can see that the time of Pasteur is mainly considered to be as a golden age of microbiology, with lots of concepts like fermentation, pasteurization, disinfection, and vaccine development was being formed over here. During There was a time at which lots of French wine was being spoiled during the shipment. That is, from the wineries, when they are being shipped, what happens? The wine was getting spoiled. So Pasteur was called forward, and he was the one who found out the solution to this. And he found out that the spoilage of this wine was being due to the association of certain microbes. And as I mentioned earlier, we have the germ theory to his credit, the vaccines, which as well as the disease association with of microbes with diseases will also be discovered. Now he put forward another thing called the fermentation. So normally, uh, what happens during the process of fermentation? We all know that sugar is being converted into alcohol in the presence of air. So when this wineries were being getting spoiled, or the wine was getting spoiled, it was in fact Pasteur who was called for the help, and he found that yeast is normally the one which is used to convert sugars to alcohol. But when these grapes or these wine which was being formed, okay, for the wine production, if certain microbes such as the bacteria are being infiltrating into it, what will happen? It will change this alcohol into vinegar. So fermentation was a biological process which normally occurs, and that mainly involves yeast. You know what is the difference between a yeast and a bacteria? Okay. So a yeast is the one which would give the normal wine, okay, which consists of alcohol. But if this wine was being contaminated or infiltrated by bacteria, that could be converted into the vinegar, and that would cause the souring of the wine. And that was the cause of the spoilage of the wine, which he uh, found out. And so Pasteur connected the food spoilage to the microbes, and he found out that the process of pasteurization could destroy the spoilage which is being caused by microbes. And this pasteurization, mainly he did it by heating the particular wine. And the same procedure. Now we know a temperature of about 50 to 60 degrees centigrade is used for pasteurization, and of course depending upon what product you are using, the pasteurization temperature as well as the time would vary. Now the technique of pasteurization, though it was being first developed for beer as well as for wine, now it has been extended also to the milk that which we use. And so once he found that microbes were being associated with food spoilage, he also got some intuition that probably they were associated with diseases also. And that was a critical development to the germ theory. After that, uh, Pasteur was also known for the development of the rabies vaccine. Now, you can see these are some of the original flasks which have been used by Pasteur. And germ theory of the disease was also being associated. That is, we have also already mentioned over this, and that is a causal relationship between the microbes and a disease. That is, he mainly concluded that any disease which is being found was being associated with certain microbes. And disinfection could control surgical infection also, and whereas microbes could cause diseases. But the concept of disinfection was later on put forward by another scientist called Joseph Lister, who developed antiseptic surgery. So, coming to Pasteur's experiments, I guess you can see a good video on Louis Pasteur's life story, which is available in YouTube, which will help you come across the various areas in which he has worked. That is the process of pasteurization, the development of the rabies vaccine, as well as the anthrax vaccine. All that is being depicted in that short animated video, and I hope so you guys will enjoy it. So, after Pasteur, we have Lister, who developed the antiseptic surgery. Uh, that is, he mainly used certain chemicals. Now, what is the chemical? I'm leaving it to you. Do find out what is the chemical that Joseph Lister found out for the antiseptic surgery. So, the trail of microbiologist scientists is yet to continue, and we have Robert Koch, who confirmed the germ theory, and he discovered the cause of anthrax, cholera, as well as tuberculosis. And he developed the pure culture techniques as well as the staining techniques and the development of solid media. We would, once you go into the next chapters, you will be learning about all these. I'm not going to the details of it right now. And Koch, he said that the microorganisms must be found in abundance in all organisms suffering from a disease, but they should not be found in healthy organisms. That was his concept. And the microorganisms must be isolated from a diseased organism and grown in a pure culture. And the cultured organisms should cause a disease when introduced into a healthy organism, and the organism should be re-isolated from the inoculated, diseased as well as the experimental host and identifying as being identical to the original specific causative agent. So this is a famous Koch postulates that which we come across. Now what are these? Let me just explain. If you have a particular healthy organism, a healthy individual, and you have another individual who is not healthy, if that person is not healthy, that unhealthy condition should be associated with a particular organism, with a microorganism. That was the first concept of Robert Koch. And the second one is that this microorganism should be capable to be isolated from the diseased organism and grown in a pure culture. That is, if you have an unhealthy person, you should be able to isolate it. Isolate it means take that particular organism from it, and you have to grow it in a pure culture. Pure culture means a culture containing that particular organism alone. Normally, microbes usually occur as not a single, they occur associated with different organisms. Okay, so if any unhealthy individual is there, or sorry, if any diseased person is there, and if it's been associated with a particular organism, that is a correlation that the organism is causing the particular disease. So the concept of Koch was, if you have a diseased person, you should isolate the organism associated with it. And this cultured organism, if you introduce this into a healthy person, and if it causes a disease over there, then you can say that that organism is associated with that particular disease. And again, if you re-isolate this particular organism from the diseased person, which was intentionally diseased, and if you find that both the organisms are being found to be similar, then we say that this organism is the one which is responsible for that particular disease. So this is about the Koch concepts, Koch postulates. Organisms are consistently isolated from diseased individuals. The organisms is cultivated in the pure form, and the signs and symptoms should be induced after inoculation, and the same organism should be isolated from the experimentally infected individual. I hope you are clear with it. Now we will continue with the next scientist in the coming session. Thank you for now.